All right. Welcome back, everybody, to... Where are we? Basel. Have we been here before? I don't think we've been here. Welcome to Basel for the first time, maybe? Yes? Oh, yeah, because we're going to watch Menchik versus Fonseca, but that didn't happen. Quarterfinals. Very long list of quarterfinals. Not the names that we all expected to be in this stage, but still very well-known names. Fonseca Shapovalov. This could be exciting. These two are two of the most exciting players when they're on. Obviously, Shapo is a little bit erratic, but when he's on, he's on. And Fonseca, we love watching him. Winner of this will take on either Munar or FAA, who I think are playing right now, and I think FAA is losing. So, also, Demon Orders beat Berrettini. Let's go. Walkover for Zverev. Griekspoor withdrew. Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't matter because Sinner's playing in 2 hours anyway. Munar is beating Felix. Felix retired. FAA retired. Everybody's retiring. Welcome to October, where nobody wants to play because the season's too long and everybody's injured. Even I'm injured, and I haven't even picked up a racket. I don't have a brain injury. So, what the hell happened to Felix? That sucks. So the winner of this will take on Munar. Steph withdrew from Paris. Okay, so Tsitsipas is probably not going to play for the rest of the year. Or he might play Greece, actually, maybe at home. Tournament is played with injuries. This season is played with injuries. That sucks. So Zverev is through. Felix is out, which makes his ATP Finals campaign pretty dire. Cool. We've got Sinner coming up in 2 hours. He's playing Bublik. By the way, chat, check this out. Look what I found this. I think this is the coolest thing ever. This is like... Check this out. Ready? Look what I found today. How cool is this? But that's not even the best part. That is not even the best part. Ta-da! Chat, I am a child at heart. This is... And look, it like closes, but like you have to take all the... I broke it. I just broke it. Yep, I just broke it. But it closes and it turns into like an actual cartridge. But you can't play it. It's not real. It's chat. Plus, I broke it. Oh no, where'd I put the thing? Uh-oh. So that's what I bought today and ruined. Yay. That's what I did. I should have just thrown it against the wall. Here it is. So yeah. Apparently they have one for Sonic 3 as well. But it's kind of sick. It's kind of awesome. Crazy glue? Yeah, I don't think I broke it that badly. I think it just kind of snapped a little bit. It's all right. Everything's fine. How cool is that? I love it. It's so cool. So that's what I did today. I went to the shops and I bought toys. Because I am an adult and I am an adult. I'm an adult and I can buy toys now. Because I'm an adult. Nobody can tell me what to do. All right, let's warm up their serves and then we're going to get started. Shapa's going to serve first. Demon all looking good. Yeah, Demon, can he qualify this week? I'm not sure. So is that Demon Zverev? Don't tell me that's it's Demon Zverev. No. It's Zverev, Musetti or Mute, and then Demon versus Sinner or Bublik. God, Vienna's kind of fire, man. Basel falling apart, but I tell you, pretty. Vienna's looking pretty spicy, looking like some ATP Finals previews. By the way, Rebecca still hasn't withdrawn, which I'm a little concerned. Why is she playing? So I'm a little bit worried. I think she's just waiting till the morning. She's just giving it until tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow morning she will say, I have to leave now. That's what I think she's waiting till the morning. New day. And then she'll go, oh, I'm a little bit sore. We need to leave. I think that's what she's doing. She's waiting for tomorrow. Because if she retired straight away, it'd be too obvious. She's just trying to, I think tomorrow morning, she'll wake up in Tokyo and she'll go, you know what? I cannot be here anymore. Good luck to Noskova in the final. I'm sorry that I cannot be here anymore. She'll leave, she'll retire, and she'll withdraw and preserve herself so that she doesn't get injured before the big tournament that she works so hard to get to. Anyways, I'm going to go with Fons in 3 because why not? Greeks will back injury. Okay. 15 love. Shapo wins the first point. What is this exactly? It's basically a diorama in the shape of a... yeah. It's basically a diorama of Sonic 2, the game, the Sega Genesis game. This is one of the first ever games that I played as a child on the Sega, well, we call it a Mega Drive, but it was called a Genesis. And yeah, so this is like a nostalgic purchase. But I just thought it was really cool looking because I'm like, this is such a great idea that I could make one of these myself. Like I don't have to go buy them. I could make one because I'm like, this is not that hard to make. I can make one of these. So yeah, I just thought it was like I wanted to buy it so I could see how it was made, so then I could try and like replicate it. Such a cool idea. Anyways, 15:30. That goes in the net on the return from Fons, 30-all. So wait, so we can confirm Sinner's match starts in 2 hours, right? It's not starting earlier because of the withdrawal, right? It's starting in 2 hours. We have 2 hours, right? Right? Yeah, not before 2 hours from now. Good. By the way, Chad, for the first time in a long time, because I don't really have much time. I'm too busy buying toys. I don't have time to watch, other tennis stuff. But I did watch what Andy and what Andy Roddick had to say about the new Saudi 1000. And I also listened to a podcast about him talking about the schedule as well, and Runa's injury, which reminded me why he is such an important voice. Like he is almost like, anyways, 30-40. And the new set that he's on, he's still got the background with all the posters, which I loved. Because I thought it was just like a new set with no... But I love how he's still got those like that pin board with all the pictures. That's so fun. That's what made the... Anyways, break for Fons. 1-0. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Andy. The reason why Andy Roddick's podcast is so important is because it's like... He's not working for anyone, so he has the freedom to, speak, right? And not have to, be worried about getting fired or whatever. He can say, he's on his own platform. But also, it's kind of like one step closer to fans than, Tennis Channel. Because Tennis Channel, it's like a TV studio, it's, producers in their ear and all this stuff. And the connection between Tennis Channel and fans is not the same as Andy Roddick podcast and fans. Like it's one step closer, right? And then obviously, well, I'm not even close to him, but it's almost like, this. I like to think that we are the fans, and we're the voice of, all of us are, collectively are the voice of the fans, right? We speak as fans of the sport and how we see it, right? But he's sort of one step closer to us than maybe someone like, someone on TV, like on a tennis channel or something, right? So watching him again, I was like, this is why he's so important. His podcast is so important because he has access to those, to the Agassi's and Raffas of the world. But he also, if he says something more likely things are going to happen. If I say stuff, if we talk, nobody's going to listen, right? But if he says things, then a lot of the stuff he says, I find myself agreeing with. So it's nice to be like, he's saying what the fans, because we talk about this on the daily, some of the stuff that he talks about, right? About how, is this good? Is this bad? What about this? What about that? He talks about that. So he's like, again, He's like the most famous tennis fan, right? But when he says it, people will listen. And he is kind of a voice of the fans as well. Even if he doesn't, speak for the fans, he speaks as a fan, if that makes sense. So even though I don't get to listen to his podcast much, I still think, I listened to it today and I was like, yeah, he said a lot of the things that we've been talking about the Saudi, the Six King Slam and the Saudi exhibition and all this other, he said a lot of the things that we've been all talking about this week on the streams. 15:30. There's a bit of serve. There's a fault, second serve. And he doesn't hold back, which is great because, you would think that, sometimes, people in his position might have to mind their words because they don't want to piss people off. And, but he doesn't do that. He doesn't mince words. He speaks his mind and he also seems to speak what we're all thinking too, most of the time. Which is good because it means if he says stuff, then maybe things change. Maybe the schedule does, change a little bit. Maybe it is better for fans. The fans get a bit more of a voice through him. 15:40. And we're back in return to the forehand of Fonseca. Fonseca hits a wide. We're back on serve 1-1. Sloppy start. Zverev qualifies because Grixpo withdrew. There you go. Shapo having to find his flow. Yeah, that was a bit of a shank there from Fonseca. That was not ideal. Can an epic win over against Alexandra Eala? Yeah. Yeah, it was a great win. She saved 4 match points or something. Did Bukova beat Bencic? Or did Bencic come back? Oh, Bencic won. What? Hang on, what happened? Mukova was 5-2 up or 4. What? Hang on. Chat, you look away for 1 second. Mukova was winning that final set when I last saw it. And then I was playing Pokemon for 3 hours. What the hell happened? Mukova was winning. Wasn't she? Did she have a match point as well? Wait, hang on. She had match point? She served for the match? Oh, no. That's twice today there's been match point saving efforts. That's crazy. Oh, my God. Anyways, love 30. That's twice. 2 matches. What the hell? That's crazy. I was leveling up my Pokemon so I can take on the Elite Four. I was busy, man. Get my Pikachu to level 50. I was working, man. I was working. Chad, I might be a full-time YouTube streamer, but I'm also a part-time Pokemon master. I need to practice, man. If I'm not level it up, then I'm gonna lose my status. I'm gonna put it on my resume. What have you been doing? I've been running a YouTube channel where I stream, but also I'm a kind of a Pokemon master. I've got 8 badges. What does that mean? I don't know what to tell you. All right, 30-all. Mukova got injured. That sucks. She served for the match twice. Ouch. All right, 30-all. As return goes into the forehand of Shapo. Then he comes to the net with a volley. Fonseca can't get it back, and it's 40-30. Cam is a Pokemon master. You'll dismantle the Elite Four. Yeah, I just need to level up. My Pokemon aren't strong enough. I got a Wigglytuff that's level 40. I needed to get to level 50. Its HP's off the charts though, but it just needs a little bit more level. I want everything to get to level 50, and then I'll take them on. Pikachu's at 51. I think Blastoise got to 50. I got Charizard at 47, I think. Need him to learn Flamethrower, and then we're sweet. Dugtrio's on a 43, I think it was. Kadabra's, I think, 46. And then, Wigglytuff's got to get to... It's only a 41, so it's got a nice roster. Yeah, it's doing all right. Just need to get everything to level 50 and then I can take him on. All right. And then when I beat the Elite Four, I can finally start playing Pokemon Gold. Finally get to Pokemon Gold. And maybe I can trade. Maybe I could trade some of my stars. No, that's cheating. That's cheating. I won't do that. That's cheating. But I might. I could. When is the Paris draw? Oh, Paris draw comes out in like 4 hours. We're going to be live, so I'm not going to do a thing for that, but we'll keep an eye on it while we're watching Sinner. All right, 2-1 Chapo. However, in Basel, it is open draw. Could be surprise champion. True. Like last year when we had GMP being the champion out of nowhere. Yeah, Basel's indoor hard courts. Like everything else right now in the ATP. Everything is indoors on the men's side. All right, 2-1 Chapo. As the return goes to forehand of Fonseca, and then Chapo shanks it long, and it's 15-love. So if Ruud wins Basel, he might have a chance of getting quite closer to number 8 spot. 15-0. Ruud won an indoor hardcourt title last week. Like literally. He beat Humbert. 15-0. 7 to the forehand of Chapo. Return goes in the backhand slice of Fonseca. Chapo backhand. Into the forehand of Fonseca. Chapo forehand down the line. Fonseca slices it back. Goes long. 15-30. 15-30. As the return goes into the forehand of Fonseca, slice from Chapo in the net, and it's 30-all. Serving to the forehand, backhand of Chapo, and then all the volley in the net by Fonseca. He just couldn't get there early enough. Pushed it. 30-40. Like he was like he got to the net, but he was kind of like he wasn't really going for the volley. He's just kind of trying to touch the ball with his racket. All right, breakpoint Chapo, 30-40. Tell you what though, this is been 13 minutes for 3 games. It's kind of slow. What happened for second the last months? He didn't play. He hasn't played since the Labour Cup. He didn't play the Asian swing. 30-40. 7 to the forehand of Chapo. Backing it from Fonseca. And Chapo forehand into the net. We get the deuce. All right, deuce. You know what Chapo looks like? He looks like the kid from Hocus Pocus. Max. In the first movie. I just watched that and I'm like, this guy looks familiar. Oh yeah, it's Max from Hocus Pocus. All right, deuce. As the forehand goes into the backhand of Shapo. Trust me, chat. Just look it up. Go Max Hocus Pocus and you'll know exactly what I'm saying. You're looking. You tell me that's not the same guy. You tell me that Shapo doesn't look like him. Just with different colored hair. Advantage Shapo. Just do it right now. Google it. You come back and you tell me that that's not the same person. Just 30 years difference because he's probably 30 years old now. 30 years older than he was when he was, I don't know, like in his teenagers. I guess the real actor. Anyways, 400 return goes to 400 Fonseca in the net. 3-1. 3-1 to Max Dennison, who lit the black flame candle. He looked exactly like him, Chad. I'm looking at him. He looked exactly like him. He's wearing a tie-dye shirt. He's got brown hair and that classic 90s, middle part that everybody had, including me. Shapo, they look the same. They're the same person. His real name is Omri Katz. That's the actor's name. You go look that up, and you come back here and you say that, hey, Cam, you look me in the eye and you say they don't look the same like person. Don't tell me that they don't look the same. They look exactly the same. A spitting image. It's 15 love. You tell me that. Lovely volley by Shapo. From Hocus Pocus. 15 love. There's a default from Shapo, second serve. The same person. Spot on, Cam. Thank you. I told you. It's Max from Hocus Pocus. I don't know how I didn't put it together. We've been watching Shapo for like years, and we haven't put that together. It's crazy. We've been calling Sonigo the Karate Kid for years. Now everyone's starting to catch on. You watch social. If you see anyone on social media saying, "Hey, anyone else think that Shapo looks like Max Dennison from Hocus Pocus?" and you know that they watch this channel. If anybody goes out, if you see anyone making a doppelganger comparison for Halloween, you know where they came from. They saw this. We said it first. You watch it. You see that on socials. You know where it came from. Oh, Shapo kind of looks like the guy from Hocus Pocus. Yeah, you goddamn right he does. You goddamn right he does. 30-15. Shapo serves. The return goes in the forehand of Shapo. Back into Fonseca, sliced. Into the forehand of Shapo as Fonseca forehand down the line. Shapo gets it with a forehand cross court. Slice from Fonseca. Shapo forehand again. The back of Fonseca. Into the forehand of Shapo. Slice from Fonseca again. Shapo forehand again. The back of Fonseca. Shapo goes forehand again to the slice of Fonseca. Into the back of Shapo. Fonseca forehand again. The back of Shapo. As Fonseca down the line. Shapo's got it with a forehand cross court. Fonseca backhand in the net. 40-15. 40-15. You know what? Imagine if they were related. That'd be wild, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if it was like... By the way, the actor is the son of Israeli Jewish immigrants. Yoram and Rena Katz. And Shapovalov, I think, was born in Israel. I don't know if that makes it... Is that... I reckon he's 49 years old, the actor now, so it's got to be like Shapo's uncle? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying, like. Anyways, that goes in the net from Fonseca, and it's 4-1. But he's Russian? Yeah, but isn't his dad... Isn't he... Hang on. Also, chat... Denis Shapovalov, and then the actor in the Hocus Pocus, his name is Max Dennison. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. Probably is. So his... Oh, it doesn't say anything about Shapovalov's... Oh, here we go. Is his mum Russian? Was his mum from Russia? He was born in Tel Aviv, Israel. His mum is from the Soviet Ukraine. So his dad... She immigrated to the USSR, Tel Aviv. Oh, okay. So his dad, Viktor Shapovalov... So he's Russian, but he was born in Israel because they moved there after the collapse of the Soviet Union. That's why Shapo was born in Israel, but born to Russian parents. Because they moved because of... Okay, that makes... Now, okay. But you Google Hocus Pocus Max, and you look at that actor, and you don't tell me that doesn't look like Shapovalov. Go look at it right now. Right now, you go look at that photo. You go look at Max from Hocus Pocus 1. And you look at that, you look at him, and you go, that, and then you look at Shapovalov, and you say, why do they look similar? You tell me. You let me know. I want to know what Shapovalov's dad looks like. Where's his dad? I want to see a picture of his dad. Where's Viktor Shapovalov? What's he look like? Viktor Shapovalov is a race car driver. That's not the same guy, is it? Is Shapovalov's dad's a race car driver? That's not true, is it? Is he? Or is that just somebody else? I think it's somebody else. I think it's somebody else. Somebody else? All right, 15-0. What did you just send me, Dutchy? What's the breaking news? Just tell me in the chat. 15-0. Zoka's net by Shapo, and it's 30-15. His mum was an athlete, I think. It wasn't his mum. It was his mum... A tennis player? Tien is better than Fonseca. Bro, why are you coming in here making enemies? Why don't you come to the Tien match and celebrate him rather than coming to the Fonseca match and being like, this guy's not good? Because we don't care. You're just trying to pick a fight, and I'm not up. We don't want to hear you. Berrettini in main draw Paris. Oh, that's cool. Is it because Tsitsipas pulled out? As the return goes out from Shapo 4-2. Shapo. We've got Sinner coming up in an hour and a half against Bublik. I just wanted to watch this match because I like watching Fonseca, so that's why we're watching this. Because I want to be on the right side of history when he wins a slam, so I can stand on the top of a hill and scream at everybody who said he was going to be no one, and I'm going to tell you that I told you so. That's why we're watching him, because I will die on the hill that Fonseca will be a champion at a slam. And I am going to be an obnoxious prick when he wins one, and you are going to have to listen to me scream in your face if you ever doubted him. The doubters will hear my voice when he wins a slam. You will hear me roar. And then I'm going to throw a parade and do a victory lap. 30-15. Because he is him. He is him. As we return now into the Fauna Chapeau, back in our from Fonseca. Into the Fauna Chapeau, again, the back of Fonseca. Chapeau forehand again. Into the backhand of Fonseca. Down the line of the backhand of Shapo, but Fonseca hits it out. 40-15. 40-15. As a default second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Shapo, it's a terrible drop shot. And Fonseca puts it away. 40-30. It was almost like he wasn't going to hit a drop shot, and then he changed his mind, and then he realized that was a bad idea. 40-30. Shapo to go to 5-2. To go to 4-2. So 5-2. I can count. He goes to 5-2. Good serving, Shapo. And it's 5-2. All right. 5 games and 2. By the way, Chad, I'm in a good mood. Probably because I had a venti iced matcha, so I'm buzzing. Question, Cam, given your architect background, in your opinion, does it take longer or is it complex to build a tennis court? Just wondering why Wimbledon expansion is expected to last 10 years. So it's not so much the complexity of building a court. It's the red tape you've got to go through with big projects like that. It's not really so much that it's hard to build a tennis court. You can build a backyard tennis court if you've got the space in 6 months. Give or take, right? Weather, obviously, as well. But it's not, it's the reason why it would take so long for Wimbledon to expand is because of all the permits and all the logistics, because they've also got to run the tournament. So for like 3 or 4 weeks of one of the, in the middle of, summer, they've got to stop so that they can do the tournament. So, and everyone thinks safe. I mean, if you go look at they built Kia Arena, right? Kia Arena in Melbourne Park. They took like probably 2 or 3 years to build that. It was they talked about it in like 2018, and then by 2021 it was playable, right? So, but it's more just like getting permits, creating safe environments for people to be able to attend the tournament while they try and construct it. So there's a lot of, but it's more just the reason it takes so long is because there's just so many people that don't want it to happen. And there's so many hurdles to jump and hoops to go through and documents to fulfill. And then also, I mean, the plans themselves take forever. Like, it's not just like, oh, they're just going to draw a sketch and then build it. They've got to it's a whole, like, I've worked on commercial projects. Commercial projects take forever because there's just so much paperwork you've got to draw as a designer. Like, you've got to draw it, you've got to do it. Local council objecting, they've got to deal with that. That's why it takes so long. It's not because it takes long to construct the actual thing. If everybody was cool with it and it started tomorrow, they'd get it done within a couple of years. But because it's not as simple as going, like, them going, can we build a court? And they say yes, and then they start. There's just so much, shit going on in the background. Funding, there's all that funding. It's not cheap to do. So it's more that. It's more the BS of that rather than the actual, like, building of the court. The building, the construction shouldn't, but then even the construction, logistics for that, getting different contractors in, getting different, obviously the designers have to design it in ways that then they do it, because usually these projects too, right? They do them in segments. So big projects like this. So they'll go, okay, phase 1, we're going to do this part. We're going to shut everything down and we're going to do this part. And then we're going to do phase 2, we're going to keep that shut, but then we're going to build here. And then as they go along, they're going to open this little bit. So it's usually done in like phases as well, so that things can still function around, because the All England club still, it was going to be open. They're not going to shut the whole thing. They're going to keep it open. So they got to, hopefully that answers the question. At least from my experience. These things just take forever because there's a lot of people get involved too, right? A lot of people, a lot of different companies getting involved, a lot of different things to, there's engineers, builders, architects, but then within the builders, there's people that are going to do the plumbing. There's people that are going to do the roof or whatever. If there's going to be a roof, there's people that are going to do all kinds of things. Remember, because there's facilities too. They're not just building tennis courts; they're building stadiums. So they've got to have food stands. They've got to have toilets. They've got to have water and air conditioning and all. And they're all different people. So then you've got to coordinate all those people, right? And they're going to have people that put the lifts in, or people that put the staircases in, and then people that do the escalators, and people that are going to design the roof, and people that are going to design the windows, and just a shitload of people. They all got to coordinate, and that's why it takes forever. And engineers, they are the ones that take forever. The architect makes something look pretty, and then the engineer just wants to make it safe, and then the builders, they do their job too. But yeah, it's always between like the architect and the engineer, because the engineer wants it to be like the safest structure of all time, and the architect wants it to be pretty. And safety is not sexy. Putting 100 beams when you don't actually need that many over safe is not gonna. It takes away from the beauty of something. And then you got to try and work together. Make it look safe, make it safe, but also make it look the way they want it to look in the pictures that they drew. And then the builder's got to try and figure out how to build it, because the architect wants to make it look like the photo that was in their mind, but that also might not be something that they can build, because it might not be physically possible. Anyways, drop shot from Shapo is too good, 30 love. So yeah, anyways, that's a whole thing as well. Plus, you got to deal with the council, you got to deal with the locals, who most of them are not happy about this tournament project, so you got to deal with that. But it's exciting. I love it. I love that they're expanding. I can't wait. I'm going to have to go back when they've expanded in 10 years to go check it out. What's my favorite building in Australia? I want to go on a tour of this building, but I do love the Manchester building in Melbourne. It's an old like Art Deco, but it's like kind of being frozen in time. They haven't really updated it on the inside, and you can go on a tour of it. I want to do that this summer. Go on a tour of the Manchester. Is it Manchester unit? Is it called the? Hang on. It's my favorite building. I don't even know what it's called. Manchester Unity Building. It's like this beautiful 1930s Art Deco Gothic building. But you can go on tours on the inside, and I want to go check it out. Right up my alley. I love that. Love that style. Anyway, Shapo, he's got set points, 40-15. Sydney Opera House. Sydney Opera House is the most generic, and no architect is saying the Sydney Opera House is their favorite building. Come on, that's like saying you're a fan of music and then your favorite song is, like, your favorite band is Taylor Swift. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going with what's popular right now and the most obvious answer. No. Take this shit serious. You're gonna, it's like saying, I love art and Mona Lisa is my favorite art. What? It's great, but also, like, really your favorite? You know what I mean? It's like saying the greatest hits album of the Beatles is your favorite. That's what you're doing. Chapo wins the set 6-3. What's your favorite Beatles album? Oh, I love the greatest hits. What are you talking about? Sydney Opera House. Okay. Anyways. The race to Turin is basically over for Felix's retirement. That sucks. Wait, is over because of the... Wait, hang on. What about Ruud, though? Casper Ruud could qualify, couldn't he? Number 9, by the way. Number 9 might be enough. number 9 might be enough because remember, Djokovic says he's not going to play. He pulled out of Paris. So Nole said he's not going to play. Or he said he might not play. He hasn't decided yet. Number 9 might be enough. So right now, Felix is in if Djokovic withdraws. Right? So Ruud, if he wins this week, he'll overtake Felix into number 9. So it could be between Felix, Ruud, and I mean Medvedev would have to win. He'd have to win Paris to be a chance, but number 9 might be enough. Beatles what? Don't worry, it's just a joke. I was just making jokes. What happened to FAA Greek Sport? Greek Sport, he's back. I don't know what happened to Felix though. Anyone know what happened to Felix? By the way, chat, I heard something very interesting that we didn't mention because I didn't know it. And I don't know what you don't know. But I was watching the Andy Roddick podcast and he was showing clips of the players talking about the schedule and the limits of how the schedule's so busy. Ruud actually made comments earlier this year about not playing in Saudi Arabia because of the ethical reasons behind it. That's probably why he didn't play the Six King Slam. Because he didn't want to play there because of, the politics of it. Which I found interesting because it's kind of like the Andreeva not playing Tokyo. We're all like, why is that not happening? And we didn't think of the visa issue. We just went, it's probably because she's, doesn't want to get hurt or something. No, it's because she couldn't get into the country because visas are not easy to get. So we didn't think that players might not would have played this. They might have been asked because Ruud would have been a great person to be in that tournament. But maybe some players had an ethical, an ethical, a moral objection to playing. Right? We didn't think of that. We just assumed that that they asked Tsitsipas first and nobody else got a chance. But maybe they called Ruud. Maybe they called these other guys. And some of them went, you know what? I'm not playing because I don't really feel comfortable being there. Okay? They're going to have to play in... By the way, and I also got to correct myself. Apparently, the Saudi event is not mandatory. So it's like Monte Carlo. It's not going to count... it might not count towards ranking, like your ranking, like a mandatory event does. So... which makes it optional, like kind of. I just want to make sure I get what Ruud said properly because I don't want to just paraphrase and maybe I misheard it, but it was during. It was last week in Stockholm. He talked about it in Stockholm. Yeah, so Casper Ruud made comments about the Saudi Arabia's increasing involvement in sport. It was last year in, when was it? 2024. He made comments last year, I think it was. It was last year he made comments. I didn't get an offer for the Six King Slam. This is last year. But I've had offers in the past and I've chosen not to go. Of course, it is a controversial country in many ways, but there are also other countries that are controversial that we travel to and play in. You can definitely discuss China and human rights there, but this is all last year. He said this last year, not this year. So I wonder if that's why he didn't play this year. For the same reasons, a moral objection. Anyways, 30-40. Shapo is dominating, which is not what I expected. Forehand goes into the forehand of Fonseca. And Fonseca inside out winner. All right. Deuce. I'll tell you what, Chad. I kind of wish that we got Fonseca versus Benet because that would have been really fun with this crowd. All right. Ethical reasons, yeah. So yeah. All right, Deuce, as we return now into the forehand of Fonseca. Fonseca puts it away. Fonseca is the most overrated player of all time. Can you get out? Can you leave? Like, just come back tomorrow. Advantage Fonseca. Hey, Justin, thank you for the 16 months. Serving to the backhand of Chapo. Return goes in the backhand of Fonseca to the backhand of Chapo. Fonseca backhand. Again to the backhand of Chapo as Chapo hits it out. 1-0 Fonseca. 1-0. 1-0. Sinner Bublik prediction. Sinner. Can't remember a player with more premature hype. You must have never watched tennis before. You must be new to the sport because I know at least since I've been watching tennis, I know a lot of players that got a lot of hype that didn't fulfill their potential. It happens a lot. So you must be new. There's a lot of players out there that get hype. Some fulfill it, some don't. Some get injured and can't fulfill it. Some don't do what we expect. Example, God, you're making me sound. Hyun Chung, 2018 Australian Open, dominated, beats Djokovic. Everyone's calling him the next Djokovic. A lot of injuries, doesn't fulfill that potential. 12 months later, disappears because of back injuries, and he's still trying to come back. And he was part of that Medvedev generation. He was supposed to be the new Djokovic. That didn't happen. Coric, he won a 1,000 title, but again, in that same generation, he was supposed to be one of the next big things. Didn't really happen for him. He did injury again, right? I mean, if you want to go back, Bernard Tomic was another one who was supposed to be back in the early 2010s. First of all, Australian savior, of tennis, but also supposed to be one of the most difficult players to read because of the way he played. Didn't quite live up to that hype, unfortunately. I mean, Nick Kyrgios did make a Grand Slam final, but I think more people expected more from him. Even Monfils, great junior career, early back in 2005? Was he like dominating the juniors? Jumps on the scene, has to take on Roger, Rafa, and Novak. Nobody knew they were coming, right? But Monf, I think a lot of people thought that Monf would be doing better, maybe have a better career than, and again, not all his fault. Obviously, he had to play those players, but he was another one who was supposed to be this, that, and the other, right? A lot of players get hyped from their junior careers or get hyped from their, at 8. I mean, Shapovalov beats Rafa in Canada at 17 years old. Turns out he's going to be and he hasn't quite done, he's made a semi-final of a slam and he's done well. Again, another player that hasn't quite lived up to that 2017 Rafa defeating Canadian Montreal, right? A lot of players. A lot of players get premature hype, and they're the players that haven't gone on to do things yet. There's a lot of players that get premature hype, and they go on to do things. Rafa Nadal is one of those players. He's beaten up senior players at 16 years old, and everyone's like, this young kid's pretty good, and then he comes out and wins a slam at 18. Then there's that was premature hype, but he wins, and he fulfilled the hype. Right? There's probably a lot of Americans in that drought. When the Americans were supposed to be, when Roddick kind of finished off and there was no Americans on the men's side and they were trying to find a new American champion. So there's a lot of Americans, just like there were a lot of Australian players that we needed to be the next big thing because we didn't have anyone because Leighton retired, right? I'm sure there's a lot of those players too. Wasn't there a player in like it wasn't like, was it Krickstein? Who was like he was supposed to be like the Agassi Sampras, but he didn't fulfill that. Was it Aaron Krickstein? Was that who it was? Back in the early... He was supposed to be the chosen one, and then it turned out to be Agassi and Sampras. And Courier. Like, plenty of hype around... I wasn't even born. I didn't know that story. I was back in the 80s. I know that. I know about that, even though I don't know if that's the guy... I know who he is, but I don't know if that's the name. Is that the name? Where are the Americans at? Again, plenty of players. Plenty of players. 15 love. Yeah, Alcaraz, another one. Even Sinner. Sinner in 2021 Federer touted him as like the next big thing, and he didn't do things instantly. So everyone was like, oh, this Jannik Sinner guy, his body is frail. He's made of glass. He can't do anything. And now look at him. Now look at him. He's the second best player on the planet because the guy who's the best player on the planet is, impossible to beat. But Sinner was one of those guys too. Like 2021, people were like, hang on, I thought this guy was supposed to be, Federer said he was going to be the next great player. And he couldn't, keep his body together. And then 2024, Sinner's like, hey, Federer was right. And chat, when Fonseca gets a slam, I'm going to be standing on the top of the mountain and I'm going to be shouting in your face. I'm going to remember everyone. I'm going to write down everyone's name who said Fonseca's nothing. He's not going to be anything. He's overhyped, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to stand on the top of the mountain just like the Grinch at Christmas. And he opens that book and he goes, you, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be the Grinch on the top of Mount Crumpet screaming at all of you doubters. I don't hate you, though, like the Grinch hated the Who's. But he didn't hate the Who's, though. Didn't he hate Christmas? But he did say that he hated the I don't know. I don't rewatch that movie. I don't know the lore. I need to study. 40-15. Fonseca. A.K.A. him. He'll win a Wimbledon. First Brazilian Wimbledon champion. How about that, chat? There's something. That's right. No one will remember this, but if he does, then remember this. 40-30. I mean, everyone's thinking South American clay court, but I'm thinking South American. He's gonna win Wimbledon. Could break the mold. Brazilian Wimbledon champion. The green flag, the green grass. He holds 2-1. Cam curse, maybe. No such thing. If Alcaraz and Sinner can win Wimbledon and this guy plays like them, am I wrong? Am I far away? Like am I out of my mind? Don't answer that. Hey, YMCA, one of the greatest party songs of all time. Is that about a gym? Is YMCA about a gym? It's about the gym, right? It's about going to the gym. Right? It's about going to the gym. Pretty sure. Is it? The YMCA is a gym, right? Is the YMCA an advert for the gym? No, it's not. What's it about? He's saying you can have fun at the YMCA. Yeah, pumping iron. Isn't the YMCA? I swear the YMCA is a gym. You hang out with all the boys at the gym. It is. Sure it is. It is. There you go. YMCA is a gym, yes. Yeah, the Young Men's Christian Association. Yeah, so it's about the gym. You can hang out with all the boys at the gym. I'm pretty sure. I remember when I lived in Wimbledon, there was a YMCA down there. I didn't go to it because I joined another gym, but I saw a YMCA there. It's about a gym, right? Like Macho Man's about working out. Village people were talking about fitness. Right? Joining the YMCA, becoming a macho man, and then joining the Navy. Go to the YMCA with the boys, become a macho man, and then join the Navy. It was an advert for, I don't know. Pretty sure it was. Right? And then they sung a song about not stopping music. I don't know what that was about. I love 15. As Shapo serves a fault, second serve. Love 15. Shapo double. Oh no, it was a let. It's more of a rec center. Yeah, well, yeah, rec center. What, gym, rec center. You can, yeah. See, Chad, I know what I'm talking about sometimes. As it a forehand out of the forehand of Fonseca. Fonseca in the net. 15-0. $15-0. $15-0. And Shapovalov serves again. There's a default second serve. Surely you know the concept of the song YMCA. I just told you what are you talking about? Let me read you the lyrics. This is chat. Why am I doing this? 15:30. All right, ready? I'm not going to sing it. See, it says, young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. Young man, because you're in a new town, there's no need to be unhappy. So it's about someone who is moved to a new place and they have no friends, right? And they are lonely. Young man, there's a place you can go. Young man, when you're short on your dough, so when you don't have any money, you can stay there. Oh, was the YMCA was that a hotel as well? They have accommodation for new people to town that have no friends. They have everything a young man to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. Who want to hang out with the boys? It's about a person coming to town and doesn't know anyone, and it's a great place to hang out and make new friends. But also, I'm pretty sure it's a gym, or somebody said rec center. Anyways, 3-1. Not to mention, it is a banger at parties. Like, everybody, how can you not dance? Like, try not to dance challenge YMCA. Lost already. Everyone loses that. Have I seen the video? I don't need to see the video. I just painted a picture with my words to you. I didn't need to watch the video. They rent rooms. Yeah. There you go. All right. We've got a break. Where's that guy that said Fonseca was something? I don't know. 3-1. There's a double fault Fonseca. Love 15. Love 15. As Fonseca serves into the slice of Shapo. And then Fonseca forehand in the net. Love 30. Right. Love 30. There's a default second serve. As the return goes in the forehand of Fonseca. Forehand out from Shapo. Fonseca comes down with a volley and hits a drop volley. Winner. Beautiful shot. 15-30. 15-30. 15:30. As Fonseca serves again. First serve is fault, second serve. Serving to the forehand of Shapo. Shapo on that, 30-all. Did Carlos ever do well in Paris? I believe he made the semis and lost and retired against Rune in 20... Was it Rune in 2022? He made the semis one year. And I think he retired. He definitely retired. I don't know if it was a Rune, though. It might have been to Rune in 22, I want to say. But he's definitely made the semis before. Back in the net by Shapo, 40-30. I'm pretty sure. Thank you. No worries. I could have made that up, though. Just don't thank me yet. I'm just going to double check. But I'm pretty sure he made the semis in 22, lost to Rune. Via retirement. He didn't lose to Rune. He had to retire against Rune because he got injured in the tiebreak in the second set. Quarterfinals. I was close. Come on, chat. Give me that. I get half a point for that. Quarterfinals. It was the quarterfinals. And it was against Rune. And I was right. Quarterfinals 2022. Rune. Tiebreak, second set. Alcaraz retired. Rune then beat FAA and then beat Djokovic. So it was the quarterfinals. I was this close. Quarterfinals. Next question. Now I'm singing YMCA. Good. It's a banger. It's a great song. About a guy who is new to town that doesn't have any friends. And then someone says, hey, you should go to this place called the YMCA. You make friends there. You can hang out with all the boys. At a rec center and gym. There's a gym. I think they have a gym there too. It's so stuck in my head. You're welcome. You're welcome. Happy Friday. Tell us one thing you want to see in 2026. I really want to see Fitr Fonseca playing Alcaraz and Sinner. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet. I want to see Shelton beat Alcaraz and Sinner. Shelton beat those guys. That's what I want to see. Actually, you know what? Scrap that. I want to see multiple players raise their level to push Alcaraz and Sinner. They don't have to beat them, but I want a group of guys after that Sincaraz match, Sincaraz rivalry, to all go together and, take them on. Because at the moment, it's like Djokovic plays them, but not even he gets close. No one... Who is the best player right now that can push Alcaraz and Sinner? Because there's definitely guys that can push Alcaraz. We've seen that this year. And there's guys that can push Sinner, but there hasn't been many guys that can do both. Draper, maybe, but Draper can't push Sinner yet. We haven't seen that. Draper can beat Alcaraz, though. But that was the old Alcaraz before before that was pre-French Open, right? Dimitrov? Yeah, but Dimitrov's, I need a player under 30. Someone who's going to be around for the next 10 years. It could be Shelton, but Shelton will be against Sinner, though. I'm not sure. But we need a group of guys. We don't just need one guy. We don't need a big three, right? We don't need just Shelton and these guys. We need Shelton, Draper, blah, 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 blah. We need multiple players because we need like 5 guys, right? 5 or 6 guys to all, go to these guys and push these guys together. Because you can't just have one of them be like, oh, this guy is going to be a threat and everyone else is not going to chance. We need like a group of guys who can consistently, because then that means Alcaraz and Sinner have to play 2 or 3 tough matches before they play each other, right? Like they can't, like the quarterfinals, semifinals are more competitive then if we get Feast and Caboli and blah, 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 blah. We need multiple guys. We can't just have one. That's why I'm saying we need a group of guys. That's what I want to see next year. A group of guys who step up and really consistently make Sinner and Alcaraz play tough tennis. Because, unfortunately, for the most part, it's wait until the final and then they'll play each other. So, yeah. But, Draper, Shelton, Kaboli was, he was competitive yesterday. It was good to see. Lehechka, right? Lehechka can do that. Lehechka's tough. Unfortunately, at slams, he's not as competitive yet, but he's tough. Tien is around as well. FAA, maybe, yeah. Runa, unfortunately, probably won't play most of it next year. Menchik, Menchik might be the guy, yeah. Maybe Menchik. Atman, maybe Musetti. I mean, we need a group, though. We need like 5 or 6 of them to all rise together to combat the Sinkaraz dominance. Yeah, Feast. 4-2 Fonseca in the second. And when I'm talking about guys like under 25, so guys like Demonor and Fritz and Zverev and Tiafoe, like they could do it, but I'm talking about more like the guys of the same generation as Sinner and Alcaraz. Because if you get a guy who's like, if you get Dimitrov, he's not going to be playing long enough to be a constant threat against those guys. He might only play for another 3 to 5 years, right? If we're lucky. I'm talking about guys who are in their early 20s who will have to beat Alcaraz and Sinner if they want to win a slam. That generation. Mickelson? Yeah, that's a good answer. Mickelson's a good answer. Basharoy's 26. He's in the like Fritz Demonor generation. Sinner's 24 though. That's why I'm saying like below 25, like 25 and below those guys. That's the kind of we need those a group of those guys, 25 and under to rise together. Fonseca might be part of that too. He doesn't fear Alcaraz. He was like, did you hear what he said about Alcaraz at the Labour Cup? He doesn't fear that man. He was telling Taylor Fritz, I don't give a shit who you're playing. No, it was said it to Cerundolo, didn't he? He said, I know he's Carlos Alcaraz. I don't care. The hell? Nobody says that. Gets away with it. No one's ballsy enough to say that. I like it. I like that from Fonseca. That he doesn't fear Alcaraz. Anyways, love 30. As with a double fault, Fonzie. Love 40. Love 40. By the way, Sinner coming up in about 45 minutes. He's playing against Bublik. All right, Shapo breaks. Back on serve. All right. Fonseca's a bit cocky then? Yeah, but we need that. We need that. Like, chat, I don't know if you've seen this, but like over the last 15 years in tennis, if you don't bow at the feet of the GOATs, you get completely slaughtered, right? If you say anything that is not complimentary of the greatest players of all time, you get slammed as disrespectful and blah, blah, blah. But Sinner and Alcaraz are not Djokovic, Nadal, Federer. I'm not saying you can disrespect them. I'm not saying that. But you shouldn't put them on a pedestal yet. They're not at the same level. They don't have the same achievements. So why it would be stupid for the generation now to be like, oh, well, Alcaraz is up here. No, because then you're never going to beat him if you put him up on a pedestal. And that's what I love about Fonseca, not giving, he respects Alcaraz, but not putting him on a pedestal. Because once you do that, you're already down a set, right? It's already tough. Why make it tougher by... Shapo did the same thing when he played Roger the first time. He was like, oh, Roger's my hero. I love Roger. He got slaughtered by Roger because he put Roger on a pedestal back in 2019. I think it was like Miami, maybe. And he was saying all these things in the press conference about like how honored he was to play Roger and he loves Roger and Roger's his hero, blah, blah. And he got murdered because Roger doesn't care if you like him or not. He's like, you're my opposition. Thanks for the nice words. Give me thanks for the win. He don't care. So I like it when players don't. Like, that's why I loved it when Shelton, was kind of a little bit brash to Novak back in US Open a couple of years. Obviously, that didn't work out well for him. Djokovic took it personally and hung up the phone. But I like when those players just kind of go, cool, I don't care. I'm going to win anyway. Like, that, I'd rather see that because that they're not in awe, right? And they're not, like, mentally, they're not behind already, right? Because they haven't put the person up on a pedestal. So I love hearing, when I heard Fonseca say that, I'm like, whoa, Alcaraz fans are going to lose their minds, but I love that he's not like, he's not admiring them. He's not admiring his competition. He's like, cool, good for them. Just wait until I play. You've got 6 slams, good for you. You started before me. I love that. It's confidence. When you see, and then you see other guys who, we've seen it with the guys who played the GOATs. That Medvedev generation who played, had to play Rafa, Roger, and Novak, and they just would go out in court and they'd just be like, they're the greatest of all time. And then they would lose because, right? Because they'd lose. Anyways, Love 40, him, aka Fonseca, is about to break in the serve of the set. Shapo serves an ace. 15-40. 15-40. Yeah, Rune's great like that too. Rune respects Alcaraz and Sinner, but Rune doesn't, praise them. He doesn't see them as better than him. He doesn't put them above him. He puts himself in that category. That's why he called himself part of the, future Big Three, right? Unfortunately, Rune's not going to be around next year, but I love that. Feast is the same. Feast is not somebody who is, looking up to Alcaraz, right? He's like, no, this guy's my competition. I'm going to play this guy. And Caboli did that a little bit against Sinner yesterday. That's what I loved about Caboli yesterday. He didn't seem to admire Sinner. He seemed to just look at Sinner as like, I got to beat you somehow. I got to figure out how to beat you. He didn't praise Sinner, even though he respects Sinner because they're, both Italian. Anyway, Shapo comes to the net. Fonseca passing shot winner. That's just ridiculous. Him. 5-3. Everyone's quiet now. He got broken back. What? Great shot by Fonseca. Backhand cross-court winner. Shapo is a decent volleyer as well. He made Shapo stretch, and he still couldn't get it. Insane shot. It's great to have that mentality. You do have to back it up at some point. Of course, yeah. You can't just come in and be like, yeah, I'm the best of the next people, and then do nothing. But I love the first thing is you got to talk. Sometimes you got to pump. You talk yourself up, and then you got to execute. Go hocus pocus guy. His name is Max. All right, 15 love. Max Dennison from California. Just a bunch of hocus pocus, right? 15 love. Backhand goes in the forehand of Shapo. Shapo on the net. 30 love. Love. Serve again. There's a fault. Second serve. Shapo returns the backhand into the forehand of Fonseca. Shapo forehand to the backhand of Fonseca. Fonseca gets wide. 30-15. $30-15. $30-15. Shapo returns the forehand of Fonseca. He hits the drop shot. It's too good. 40-15. to take us to a third. $40-15. Fonseca a menace? Yeah. 40-15. Take us to a third. As Fonzie serves a fault, second serve. Serve into the back of Shapo, return the forehand to Fonseca. Shapo forehand to the back of Fonseca, into the forehand of Shapo. As Fonseca down the line, forehand winner. What? That's how you win a set. All right, we're going 3. You knew he was going for that shot. You could see it. When Shapo went down the line with a loopy forehand, you went, oh, there's a little bit of a gap down the line. Fonseca's going to unleash. Like, you could see that shot was coming. He might have completely missed it, but you know he was going to go for it. That shot was there. There was an opening, and you knew Fonseca was going to try and hit it, and he smoked it. And, like, power and precision. 10 winners, 7 errors from Fonseca, 2 double faults out of those 7 errors. 5 winners and 13 errors from Shapo, 4 double faults. So Shapo dropped off in the second, but Fonseca rose. And that final shot was just... Man, that was just too good. All right, final set coming up. All right. Final set about to begin. Fonseca's pretty good, huh? Yeah, he's all right. So basically, this Zverev Tsitsipas generation out, Cam thinks. What do you mean? What did I say that? I think it's very hard for that generation, 100%. The only guy I mean, Zverev and Fritz are the only 2 guys. But more, I think this year I've been leaning more towards Fritz likely to get a slam out of those guys more than Zverev, because even though Zverev did well in Australia, he hasn't been as good. I mean, he's been losing. He lost to Novak. Like he's not been playing as well. Fritz has been great. The last 12 months, and he's been competitive against Alcaraz. I want to see him play Sinner, in Turin. Fritz winning a Wimbledon next year. It's not going to be easy, but it's not out of the question. Whereas seeing Zverev maybe win a French, what's more likely? Zverev winning the French or Fritz winning Wimbledon? I mean, I feel like it's pretty even. Like both things, I don't think they're both going to happen, but it's probably the same likelihood at this stage. You would say Zverev maybe because you want him to win more because he hasn't got that slam yet, but I would say Fritz winning Wimbledon and Zverev winning the French, as of right now, is probably the same likelihood. Same percentage, whatever that is. Because they're both going to have to beat Sinner and Alcaraz. Right? To get there if it keeps going the way it's going. They might both not win anything, but but again, let me check the odds. The odds are always fascinating. What are the odds? I wonder if Zverev is more likely to win the French than Fritz is to win Wimbledon. But how do you beat Alcaraz and Sinner? Maybe you can beat Sinner on clay, but then again, that's not a given because Sinner hasn't lost on clay except for Alcaraz. Have a look. So next year's Wimbledon. Fritz is currently behind, Draper. Zverev is ahead of Fritz to win Wimbledon next year. That is madness. That is madness. And then Zverev is 3rd favorite for the French next year. That's crazy to me. Maybe the odds are just not. So it goes Sinner, Alcaraz, equal favorite to win the French next year right now. Then Zverev, then Djokovic. And then Wimbledon, it goes Sinner and Alcaraz, equal favorite to win Wimbledon next year. Then Djokovic, Zverev, Draper, Fritz. That's surprising. Maybe Australian Open, Fritz? Is that maybe Fritz in Australia. Maybe that's the play. No, Fritz is behind Medvedev and Zverev and Djokovic. Again, equal favourite Sinner and Alcaraz. That's surprising. I think Fritz's game on grass is more dangerous for Alcaraz and Sinner than Zverev is on clay for those guys. Personally. Anyways, love 15. Yeah, Zverev is a beast on clay. But Fritz is a beast on grass. All right, love 30. I mean, he's from California. Love 30. First serve is a fault, second serve. As we're backing it from Fonseca into the net, 15-30. As we serve again from Shapo. As we forehand out of the forehand slice of Fonseca. And then, Shapo in the net. All right, 15-40, Fonseca. By the way, chat, if Fonseca does win this match, all right, 15-40. As with a forehand from Shapo into the backhand of Fonseca. Shapo, forehand. Again to the backhand of Fonseca. Sliced into the backhand of Shapo. Fonseca. Forehand again to the forehand of Shapo. Shapo on the net. There's the break. One love. Final set. Final set. By the way, winner of this match will take on Munar in the semis, who got he beat Shelton and he got a retirement victory against FAA. So, yeah. Remember, Fonseca did beat the guy who won this tournament last year. Remember that. Sinner match starts in 30 minutes. Yep. Sure does. And we're going to be watching it. Fonseca will destroy Munar. No, I don't think so. I don't think he'll destroy Munar. I think Munar is very underrated. And as a Fonseca fan, we are not underestimating Munar. Know that. We do not underestimate Munar. That man is scary. Very dangerous, yes. Very dangerous. Backhand return goes to the forehand of Fonseca. Shapo in the net. 15. Love. 15 love. Serve again. As Fonseca with a great serve. 30 love. Love. As the backhand slice return. Goes long. 40 love. Munar beat Bublik at Wimbledon. There you go. Munar will be tough. Oh, yeah. Munar is a guy that can frustrate almost anybody on his day. Oh, yeah. On pretty much any court, too. Like if Fonzie does get through this, I might bet Munar just as to make me feel better. If Fonzie, you know what I mean? Like, well, if one of my favorite players loses, then at least I can buy myself dinner, and eat my feelings. You know what I mean? Make $10. Buy something to make me feel better. 40-15. It's a win-win. And then if Fonseca wins and I lose $5, worth it. Worth it for him to get the final. You know what I mean? 40-15. Return from Chapo in the net. 2-love. Are we going to watch Fonseca Munar? I don't know. I'm not sure what the schedule looks like. All right. True, yeah, true. All right, 2-love in the final set. All right, Chapo serving. Just shaking out his legs there, Chapo. All right, another let from Chapo. Another let by Chapo. You just can't seem to hit the ball over the net. All right. 2-love. Serve. Is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. As the return goes out by Fonseca. 15-love. Rude is my favorite, especially after turning down 6-king slam in the past. Yeah. 15-love. As with a backhand. Nope, it's a fault. Second serve. One thing's for sure, Cam's watching Eala tomorrow. And I'll tell you another thing for sure, people are going to complain for no reason. But that's just the way it is. 15-all. Chapo serves a fault. Sorry. All right, serve out wide as a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Fonseca. Backhand of Chapo. Into the forehand of Fonseca on the stretch. Chapo, forehand cross court. Fonseca gets there with a slice, but it's in the net. 30-15. Why are people so pissy about you watching Eala? I don't know. I ask myself that every day. Every day that we watch her, I'm like, why are there 4 people that are very angry about me watching Eala? When there's nothing else on, or at least matches, I wasn't going to watch anything else. So I was like, I might as well watch this and go live. And then 4 people get really angry. I don't understand. They just... Because the option today was Raducanu and then nothing until Sinner, because I wasn't going to watch anything. But then I'm like, let's play doubles. Let's watch that. Because it won't be 4 hours, and it will be, and I fit the time. Like I had about an hour and a half between, before I had to go out, and it fit the time. Whereas if we watched on Alexandra Eala, which granted was a better match, I wouldn't have been able to. I would have had to leave. So I couldn't watch that because it wouldn't have fit the time that I had available. So again, but the people that get pissy at me watching Eala don't understand that I had things to do. So it just worked out that way. 30-40. But again, I mean, people could get angry about something, I guess. Anyways, Fonseca hits a long on the return as deuce. As the return goes into the form of Shapo, backing out from Fonseca. And Shapo volley in the net. Advantage Fonseca for the double break. Who progressed more this year as a player, Eala or Fonseca? Fonseca. I think Fonseca is further ahead than Eala this year. As that Shapo winner goes inside out for the forehand, and it's deuce. I'll say Fonseca because one, he won an ATP trophy, but he also had multiple Grand Slam like mini runs in the first week. Like he got to the second, third round. Eala only won one Grand Slam match this year, and it was a great match, but she didn't Fonseca had multiple Grand Slam. He beat her catch at Wimbledon, right? He had a couple of good runs. Beat Rublev, had some big wins too. Rublev at the Australian Open was huge. So Fonseca, I'm not sure what Fonseca and Eala's rankings are. I know Eala's like 50, but I think Fonseca's sort of top 30, right? 42. Yeah, so Fonseca, higher ranking as well. So yeah. But I like both of them are great. Both of them are great for the sport. I know we got Sinner and Alcaraz and Sabalenka and Swiatek and Gauff, but Eala and Fonseca are bringing it. As Shapo hits a drop shot, but Fonseca gets it. Shapo volleys it away though. Whoop. Deuce. But the best, it's not just that they're really fun to watch. I like they're the type of player that I like to watch. Right, fired up, aggressive. Screamy, yelling. I love that energy. But Eala's bringing a whole different country to tennis that had never really watched tennis before, right? That's huge. And Fonseca's bringing back Brazilian tennis that has been away on the men's side since Guga back in the 90s, right? Or the early 2000s. So for 20 years, Brazilian tennis hasn't been as good. It hasn't had someone on the men's side be as promising as Fonseca, right? Obviously, Adaj Myers held her end up on the women's side, but on the men's side, now they've got Fonseca, and it's like Brazil's coming back into tennis, right? Seriously, because there's a guy that he could seriously do stuff, right? So yeah, he's a superstar, right? So that's great for the sport. We've got Brazil back into tennis. Philippines are getting into it. More fans, more new people, more people getting into the sport. That's good for the sport. Whereas if there was an American doing well, or an Australian, or a Frenchman, or Frenchwoman, or someone from Europe again, it's like, cool, we've got enough of people from those places to represent, right? On the Australian side, we've got Demonor, we've got Joint. On the American side, they've got too many players. On the Canadian side, they've even got a lot of players. But now we've got Brazil back. Philippines is getting involved. You can almost, there's just so many. I mean, Argentina's got a lot of players still. Chile's got a couple of good players on the men's side. Scandinavia with Denmark, Norway, even Sweden, they've all got, representation through different players. You got players through Asia. I'm talking, China, Japan, have great players, right? So they're good for the game. They're good. They're bringing whole nations back into the sport, or into the sport for the first time. Opening the world up, opening the tennis to new parts of the world. It's like this, chat, right? I don't know if you don't play video games, this will make no sense. But it's like when you're playing a game and you start off and the whole map is blacked out, and as you walk through the map, it opens up and you start seeing different parts of the map, right? That's what tennis is trying to do, right? It's trying to open up different parts of the world. There's black spots around the tennis. Tennis isn't a part of, before this year, it wasn't a part of the Philippines really, right? Tennis isn't a part of a lot of places through Africa, unfortunately, because there's just not players from Africa doing well enough. And I'm not talking about Morocco, where, or Tunisia or South Africa. We've got players from there, but I'm talking about Central Africa, right? Like Kenya or Nigeria, right? There's not players from there yet. So that part of the world is unexplored, right, by tennis. But Southeast Asia, and with Chen coming from Indonesia, right? Obviously, I mean, who would have thought that we're going to have someone from Monaco doing so well with Vachereau, even though that's sort of France adjacent, but still, that part of the world's now been opened up to with somebody winning a 1,000. Like, it's good for the sport if we're getting different nations getting, doing these things. And again, Brazil, besides Haddad Maia, hasn't been a promising talent since Guga. And Fonseca is him. Like, he's the guy that's going to bring Brazil back into into a serious contender again. 15-0. So it's great. Like, all these players are great for the sport. That's why they get so much hype. Because the people that are hyping them know that as well. As Shapovalov hits into the crowd, 30-15. Like, that's why Eala and, that's why you see so much of them on the broadcast, not from here, but just in general. You'll see Fonseca on Tennis Channel, or you see Eala talking about, it's because they know that there's a huge audience coming into the sport for the first time that need, if you're not talking about Eala, then people aren't going to, from that country, are going to go find the people that are talking about Eala, right? So it's like, that's why you see them so much on, and same with even the UK with Raducanu, right? The UK was Andy Murray. British tennis was Andy Murray. That was it. And now, with Raducanu, she's obviously winning a Grand Slam. That's brought in, Bolt has become, a name, in British tennis. A lot of other British players are starting to come up partly because of Raducanu. You got to give her credit for that. And then Draper comes out of nowhere, right? We didn't see him really until like 2021, where he just kind of popped off, got a set of Djokovic, and we're like, who the hell is this guy, right? So like, and that's good too, because British tennis has kind of been, hasn't been, besides Andy Murray, hadn't been, before Andy Murray, it was like no one, right? Tim Henman, but he just couldn't make a slam final. But you know what I mean? Like, that's great to see those players. That's why Raducanu gets a lot of attention, partly because of that. Because she's bringing back British tennis on the women's side, which hasn't been a thing since Virginia Wade. 3-1. It's why Barty was so important for Australian tennis. Because we hadn't had a women's champion at Wimbledon since the 60s or the 70s. It's why Demon was so important. Because we haven't had a champion since Leighton. It's why Kyrgios was so good in 2022. Why it was so important that he did well, because it was Australian tennis had not had a champion since Leighton on the men's side, and that's been 20 years. Anyways, backhand winner there from Fonseca's off 15. It's why Popyrin winning Canada was so big, because we hadn't had a 1,000 champion for a long time either, and Poppy breaking that that drought was huge, because now De Minaur and other guys from Australia can go, well, if Poppy can do it, I can do that. It gives them belief. I love 15. Anyways, that's my TED Talk. Thank you for listening. Love 15. Chapeau double faults. Love 30. Love 30. As we get a fault, second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Chapeau. Slice from Fonseca into the forehand of Chapeau. Fonseca with a passing shot. Chapeau with a drop volley is too good. 15-30. Beautiful shot. Have you seen the Norwegian tennis player? No, but I can't tell his name. But I know who you're mentioning. It's the Kaya. What's his name? We did a whole fucking lesson about this the other day. Remember? We had someone in this chat that was from Norway, and they were giving me they were telling me how to say it properly. But that guy, watch out for him at the United Cup with Rude. He's going to be the man. He's going to be interesting to watch. He's dominating the challenger circuit right now. Well, he's won like 4 challenges this year or something. Love that. He might be at the next gen finals. Chat, I might break my own rule and watch it. We might stream it. I know, right? Shock. I got nothing else to do, really. I'm not going to go away, so I might as well. We might watch the next gen finals for those guys as Shapo hits it in the net. Fonseca breaks 4-1 double break. Just call him Nico? Yeah, Nico. Yeah, Miss Smiley, you were helping us out with the name. All right. Double break 4-1. Oh, Shapo retired. Shapo says I'm done. Fonseca wins. Where are the haters now? Fonseca is talking to the umpire. Why is he talking to the umpire so much? What's up? Shapo I don't know what happened with Shapo. I don't know why he stopped. There's no bad blood between the players. The umpire, I don't know what the hell just happened. Shapo was shaking out his leg a little bit, so maybe there was a bit of a leg problem. But no medical timeout. Whenever there's no medical timeout and a retirement, it's always so weird. It doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. Fonseca's into the semis, though. He took a medical timeout in Stockholm. Okay, maybe there was some fatigue. Maybe it was just some... Again, it looked like he was shaking his leg out for a little bit, so maybe there was some leg issue or something. But again, I'm not sure. That was kind of out of nowhere. It's a little bit random. But Fonseca's into the semis, and I'm not mad at that. Where is that clown now? Where's that person who said he's overrated and he's going to lose and he got broken straight up? Where are you now? Hello? Anybody there? You can apologize. You have till the end of the stream to apologize, and I will accept it, and I will take back calling you a clown. It's poor sportsmanship unless he's actually injured. I don't think. I think there's something going. Shapo didn't just walk away because he was losing. Like, there would have been something up. Fonseca's going to play Munar tomorrow. Too bad FAA got injured. I was rooting for Felix. Yeah, that would have been good. Cool to see FAA versus Fonseca. But Munar is legit. That's not going to be easy for. Like I said, I'm nervous for Fonzie as a fan of Fonseca. I'm scared. I think Munar is dangerous. I know Munar is dangerous. You know, Joao could win, but Munar. I think Munar should be the favorite, to be honest. I don't think Fonseca should be the favorite. India are fabulous at cricket. Admittedly, it's their national sport. Then why did Kohli go out for a duck twice? You thought I didn't watch cricket. I lied. Haha. I saw this. I keep an eye on it sometimes. Why, if India are fabulous at cricket, why has their greatest player of all time not scored a run in 2 matches? Don't worry, it's fine. Just wait until the Ashes start. You don't even know. You don't want to be here for that. If you're British. Sorry, if you're English. If you're British, if you're Scottish, show up. But just wait until we get to the Ashes. You don't even want to know. If you're English, maybe skip those streams. Let's go get crazy. All right. Well, anyways, we've got Sinner starting up in like 15 minutes, so it kind of works out pretty well, unfortunately, for this match. But good win for Fonseca to get. And now he's going to play Munar tomorrow. I sent you something. What's up? Munar. Oh, he's never won a tour level. Oh, he's only ever won one tour level semi-final. Okay, fair enough. Virat Kohli has returned to play cricket after a long time. I'm sorry that he hasn't played for so long. Still overrated? You're overrated. Your comment's overrated. Get a new comment, please. By the way, how many times have you been timed out? Let me just put you on blast. 28 times you have been timed out. I'm not going to apologize. You should apologize for being timed out. The chat's sick of you. Nightbot's getting tired. Why are you getting timed out all the time? What the hell? 28 times you have been timed out. I gotta be honest, I think maybe I would have said it's me, but I think it might be you. It's not me. 28 times. And you're still talking shit. We don't go by the 3 strikes you're out policy here. 30 strikes you're out. All right, we'll give you 30 chances to learn from, All right, 30 strikes and you're We're very friendly. We're very forgiving on this channel. To a fault. All right. You can stay if you say Fonseca has potential. And I'll forget. All is forgiven if you can just say that. Not all is forgiven. I can't erase your timeouts, but if you just say that maybe Fonseca is a good player, then I'll forgive. And try to forget that you've been timed out a million times. They're going to come and say, never! All right, banned. Banned. Hey, thank you, Marlo. Appreciate it. What's the timeout record? I don't know. That person disappeared. Those people disappear. If you've been around for 28 times, that is a lot. I was timed out twice today. Once saying book 1, and second time saying time for Runa, saying Runa. What causes someone to be timed out? Yeah, look, we're not going to. This is not a court of law, and we're not going to. This is not a trial, so there is no. I don't know why. Maybe you typed a word that Nightbot didn't like. Maybe you spammed. I don't know why. I don't know. Sometimes you accidentally get caught up in the crossfires of Nightbot going on a rampage. So I don't know why. Judge Savage? Yeah, Nightbot is the judge, jury, and executioner. You weren't timed out. What are you talking about? When were you timed out? You haven't been timed at all. Not recently. Anyways, Sinner's supposed to be playing now. Am I stupid? I thought he was supposed to play now. Is he not playing now? What happened with Chapo? I don't know what his injury was, but he was shaking his leg out in the final set there. So my guess would be leg, but I'm not sure. How's Runa? He's recovering from surgery. Sinner starts in 10 minutes. Okay, cool. I thought so. Fonseca's awesome, but it's always disappointing to watch Shapovalov in tight matches. Yeah, but he got injured, Chapo. So I mean, give him a break. French draw is in 9 minutes. Isn't it coming in an hour? Bro, out here yelling. That's 29 times. Never seen Chapo win a tight match. Really? Okay. Fonseca 39 in the live rankings. Let's go. Thank you. All right, I'm going to send you over to the next one. I'm going to get some food before the next match because I am hungry. I'm glad we watched this match. It worked out really well to squeeze this in between streams, and it filled in the time, so I wasn't sitting around doing nothing. So now we get to watch Jannik Sinner play Bublik. Last time they played, Sinner played one of the greatest Grand Slam matches of the year. Chad, I'm not even going to, it might be the greatest performance of the Grand Slams this year. And I know that Alcaraz winning from match points down is great, but I'm talking about from start to finish, dominating performances at Grand Slams this year. Alcaraz might have done it against somebody, maybe at the US Open, but that match against Bublik at the US Open, Sinner won 1-1, was one of the most, if not the most dominant performance at a Grand Slam this year on the men's side. Alcaraz might have done it as well, but against somebody who he had lost to earlier in the season, and Bublik's no slouch. The last time they played, it was one of the best matches that Sinner's played all year. From start to finish, it was ridiculous. That was like, stop, he's already dead, you know the meme? Anyways, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Sinner and Bublik are coming on next, but Fonseca wins, he's into the semis.